Hello wonderful people, it's Weil here. Today we'll be showing you everything you need to know about the new Cherry Blossom Grove biome, as well as taking a look at some building ideas to make use of all the wonderful new blocks. Let's get creating. There are timestamps throughout the video so you can find just the information you're after. We'll be looking at information about the biome, the blocks that are available, some block palettes using the cherry blossom wood, and then some builds to give you some inspiration. Cherry blossom trees are found in the new cherry grove biome. Cherry groves are quite rare and are often small in size, and they're usually found on the side of tallest mountains or on smaller hilltops. Due to their rarity, you might have a hard time finding them, so if you've got cheats allowed on your world, you can use /locate biome space Minecraft cherry grove to get the coordinates of your nearest cherry grove biome. Keep in mind that having cheats allowed doesn't actually mean you're cheating, it's just what Minecraft uses to determine whether you can use commands in-game or not. Here in the Cherry Grove biome, you can see that the trees grow naturally on grass blocks, but you can also grow these trees on dirt, of course grass blocks, coarse dirt, rooted dirt, mud, podzol, mycelium and moss blocks. Bees, sheep and pigs love the Cherry Grove biome, and bees' nests sometimes generate on the sides of the cherry blossom trees. They're actually quite common, so if you find one of these biomes, you're sure to get lots of honey. Rabbits will also spawn here in the Cherry Grove biome, and this is in place of cows in a normal plains or meadows biome. Let's have a look at the blocks available from the cherry blossom trees. A full log set is available in the cherry blossom, meaning we have the regular logs, the strip logs, and then the wood type where we have the same texture on all 6 sides like this. The logs can then be crafted into a full set of wooden items, so we've got planks, stairs and slabs, fences and fence gates, and all of these are available in this really pretty pink colour. You can see that the wood can also be crafted into a range of items like doors, trapdoors, buttons and signs, pressure plates, and the new hanging signs, and you can see these can be placed both hanging from items as well as on walls where they have this little stick come out to hang from. You can also create boats and boats with a chest in them using the cherry wood. You can also collect the pretty pink cherry leaves, and these have such a wonderful texture to them, it's really unique in Minecraft. You can also collect the saplings, and as well as growing them, they can be placed in little pots. Don't they look like fabulous little bonsais? Another really distinctive feature about these cherry grove biomes are the pink petals that cover the ground. Let's learn a little bit more about them. These pink petals are only found on the ground in cherry groves. They can be broken with any tool, including a fist, but a hoe is the fastest, and clicking on these petals with bone meal will generate more pink petals. Like a flower, they can be placed on mud, dirt, rooted dirt, grass blocks, coarse dirt, podzol, mycelium and moss blocks. I'm going to grab a few out from my chest here. When you place these in a crafting table, you can see that you can get pink dye from them, which means there is the opportunity to farm these for a dye farm. You can also place these pink petals in groupings up to 4, just like you would with a candle or with a sea pickle, and you can see they have a different texture depending on how many you place down. Interestingly, you can change where the rotation of your petal starts by rotating round. So you can see if I place in a full set, the larger blossoms will be in different places depending on which way I was facing when I placed down the petals. When these pink petals are underneath the cherry blossom trees like this, with the particle effects of the cherry blossoms falling, it does look like these pink petals might generate from the cherry blossom trees. However, as of the 20W07A update, if you grow a tree manually, cherry blossom flowers like these pink petals will not spawn underneath the tree, so you'll have to find a cherry blossom biome to be able to collect them and use bone meal to generate more. Now that we know what blocks we have to work with and how to collect them, let's look at some block palettes and then some builds using them. Here I've got 5 block palettes listed. The pink colour of the cherry blossom wood does lend itself to a more whimsical build, but you can see that in this first block palette you can really turn it down by using some neutrals. By pairing the cherry blossom wood with some crimson wood and some mangrove wood, you can get a really nice gradient like this. And then I've used some more neutral colours to complement the bright colours of the wood. In this third design, I've really played into the whimsical nature of this pink wood. So I've paired it with this prismarine here, which has a nice bright colour, as well as some quartz to complement the whole arrangement. Over for this block palette, I've paired the cherry blossom with some nether brick, and the nether brick has this kind of pinky undertone, so it works really well with the cherry blossom wood. I've also used a little spruce alongside so that we have a nice cohesive colour palette. And for this final smaller colour palette, I've paired it with another new block, the bamboo. We've got so many great textures with the cherry blossom wood and the bamboo that you only need 3 blocks to get a really great arrangement of materials. Let's have a look at how you could use these block palettes to create some awesome builds. The first build I've created here using the cherry blossom wood is this really cozy cottage. You can see I've used the cherry wood for the walls and then toned it down a little bit by using more neutral blocks for the rest of the build. I've paired the cherry blossom here with a mixture of jungle wood, mud bricks, and they all have this kind of pink hue to them. And then to add a little bit more interest to the wall, I've even used some looms. They also have this same pinky red undertone that pairs really well with the cherry blossom. This is a very whimsical looking build. I've draped some leaves down the top, and instead of just using the cherry blossom, which might be overwhelming with the pink, I've mixed it in with some azalea leaves and flowering azalea, so it looks like there is different textures in the cherry blossom draping down the side. For this next build, I wanted to create a really whimsical look, so I've used the prismarine alongside the cherry blossom for a really fun colour palette, and then I've gone with a tower style house with a swooping roof, which works with this fairy tale colour palette. You can see that the contrast in this build is provided by the dark colour of the cherry blossom logs, which I've used to frame out the tower and the house. To continue this really magical feel that we've got going with this build, I've used end rods to light up the build, as well as to act as architectural features in the windows and doorways. I've used these soul lanterns, which have the same blue colour, and then I've gone with a really unique style of gardening where I have these little pools with some coral, which works well with the prismarine that we've got in the build, as well as keeping the planting to a colour palette of white and blue. For this next build, I've paired the cherry blossom with some bamboo to create a really tropical survival style house. As you can see, the whole house is up on stilts, and underneath I've got room for my pigs, my sheep, and my cows. I've also paired this build with a farm, which I think works really well with the bamboo colour. Then as we come up, I have my entryway, and you can see that I've used the textures and layered them on top of each other so that the bamboo colour melds well with the pink colour of the cherry wood. There's such a lot of detail going on with these different textures with the trapdoors, the bamboo and the fences that I've stuck to a really simple sloped roof like this, and then I've kept my wall designs relatively simple as well, letting the detail in these trapdoors shine through. You can see that the windows, instead of having glass, are trapdoors. For my fourth build, I wanted to create a really magical looking fairy tale tower. I've used the crimson wood, the mangrove wood, and the cherry blossom wood to create a gradient in my roof, and then so the colours all mix together well for this build, I've used all 3 of these wood types throughout the decoration of the tower. Since we have such a lot of colour going on in the window decorations, the balcony, the leaves and the roof, I wanted to keep the base of this build fairly neutral, so I've used stone brick for the bottom with just a hint of some mossy stone brick, and this ties in with the green that's in the cherry blossoms at the top of the build. And then I've kept the walls of the main part of the tower to a colour palette of white, using some birch, some calcite, some concrete powder and some white wool. The cherry blossom wood really is calling for a Japanese style build, so for this colour palette I have used the dark nether brick alongside the cherry blossom to create this Japanese style house. You can see that for this build, I've used the cherry blossom trapdoors to create the windows, and I've used some of the new hanging signs to create some details, so that way there are layers to the decorations of this build. You can see that the bark texture of the cherry blossom wood here pairs really well with the colour in the nether brick, and to contrast this really pinky red undertone in these blocks as well as the walls, I've contrasted it with these cool toned stone bricks as well as the spruce blocks here, which give us a great variety of texture. You can see I've used those behind the circular doorway to my house. So now you have some ideas on how to use the new cherry blossom wood to create some awesome builds. If you'd like to see a tutorial for any of these builds I've shown you today, be sure to leave a comment down below. There's not long until the 1.20 update comes out, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any tutorials to do with the awesome new blocks coming this update. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider liking and check out my Patreon if you'd like to support me further. I'll see you in another video!